This is a production of Florida State University.
Coming up on FSU Headlines, Florida State goes downtown to aid entrepreneurs. A professor and her students uncover new discoveries close to home. And sit down with FSU's National Champion softball coach. Stay tuned for these stories and more. FSU Headlines starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of FSU Headlines. On location this month from inside Florida State University's brand new, beautiful Jim Moran building here in downtown Tallahassee. I'm your host, Dennis Schnitker. You know, Florida State cut the ribbon on this facility a few weeks ago. It's a state-of-the-art home to the Jim Moran School of Entrepreneurship and the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship.
1, 2, 3.
Flanked by Florida State faculty and Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce members, FSU President John Thrasher had the honor of performing the official ribbon cutting of this new building for the nation's first standalone entrepreneurship school at a public university.
We're here to celebrate a really auspicious day for us, to celebrate the opening of this Jim Moran building. Now, I want to make sure you understand, the building's been open for a while, and we had a private celebration for Miss Moran a couple of weeks ago that was really spectacular, and she enjoyed it very, very much. But this is for our friends here downtown and in Tallahassee, and who are so responsive and so helpful to Florida State University.
Thanks to a $100 million donation from Jan Moran and the Jim Moran Foundation, the Jim Moran School of Entrepreneurship at Florida State University is well on its way to educating nearly 500 students. And with the addition of this building as its operations headquarters, its mission now has a pretty cool space to do that work.
This is the student incubator.
Over the last year, architects transformed this 20,000 square foot former bank into a state-of-the-art facility designed to cultivate entrepreneurial growth. It will house both the Jim Moran School's administration and the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship.
We have common shared space on the first floor, which will be used for events and other entities across the community. And then we also have the second floor, which is dedicated to the school, that has office space, a collaboration room, and an incubator for students to come and work on their business ideas, students that are within the School of Entrepreneurship. And then the third floor is dedicated to the Jim Moran Institute. And we serve small businesses throughout Tallahassee and also nonprofit executives. So we have a program room where we hold trainings once a month. We also have meeting space, and we have a scholars lounge for a few scholarship students that we have at FSU.
The look and feel of the new Jim Moran building is lively, bright, and colorful, reflecting the personality of its namesake. Walls and windows display Mr. Moran's inspiring quotes, while a 3-story stairwell features a timeline of his successes with snapshots and stories. And the new space offers new opportunities for education.
We started about 45 startup businesses this past year, student-led startup businesses. We had our first entrepreneurial technologies course. We're building out our first full entrepreneurial e-commerce course. There's 3 different tracks. So as opposed to just having a singular entrepreneurship major, now you can have multiple tracks. So there's a social entrepreneurship play, there's a commercial entrepreneurship play. We're launching our retail entrepreneurship play this coming fall. And then eventually we'll go out to a technology entrepreneurship track, and then eventually ending up with an arts entrepreneurial track. Those are things you couldn't do curriculum-wise, program-wise, if you were just inside like a college that covers a lot of different disciplines as opposed to strictly an entrepreneurial approach.
The $100 million donation to bring the Jim Moran School of Entrepreneurship to life is the largest single gift to Florida State University and to any public university here in the state of Florida. You can learn more at jimmoranschool.fsu.edu. Some of the students here will play an important role in our next story as they work their way toward graduation day. More students earn bachelor's degrees in 4 years or less at Florida State University than any other public university in the state. Florida State's 4-year graduation rate is now 68.4%, nearly 3 points higher than the previous year, moving FSU to first among all state university system institutions. More significantly, it's the highest 4-year graduation rate in state history. Florida State's upward trajectory in student success didn't happen overnight. The 4-year graduation rate has risen steadily in recent years as a result of careful and strategic investments in academic advising, tutoring, and academic coaching. The graduation rate also places FSU in the top 15 nationally among public institutions. Florida State University's opening night's performing arts gives elementary and middle school teachers some innovative new tools to help students step up their math skills during a special dance workshop. Take a look.
This angle equals that one, and that angle equals that one. They're both isosceles triangles.
This workshop was a set of activities simultaneously exploring mathematics and dance for teachers.
One group with your loop, could you make an undoubled square and go ahead and put it on the floor?
And we have a bunch of activities that get teachers to look creatively at ways of integrating mathematics and dance in the classroom.
This was really interesting because I learned different ways to share with the students geometry, algebra, fractions, ratios, pretty much every element.
With your index finger, grab one string to your right.
I want my dancers to be whole students. I want them to excel not just in dance, but I want them to excel when they go out into their math and reading classes, on campus. I want them to be excellent students. And so anything I can do to help them make those transitions between their core academic classes and my performing arts class helps them become better students.
It's going to be hard for us to go down here in third person.
So we want participants to come away with that sense that there is a wealth of mathematics embedded in dance, and that dance is also connected to mathematics. The two are very closely connected, and hopefully they will see some of those connections and also see how they can mine those connections for their own work with students in the classroom.
All right, this is one of several workshops hosted by Opening Nights as part of their association with the Kennedy Center Partners in Education program. Well, still to come on FSU Headlines, we're taking a trip on location to Mission San Luis.
Why is Mission San Luis a big deal? Because it was the western capital of Spanish La Florida.
We'll show you how an FSU professor and her students are making discoveries on this site for the first time in a decade, when FSU Headlines continues in a moment.
What does preeminence look like?
Moonlight, Best Picture.
Florida State University.
When you buy a Florida State University license plate,
you're not just showing your school spirit.
You're supporting students like us.
In the lab,
in the classroom,
and in the library.
Putting this tag on your vehicle helps Florida State students achieve their dreams. So show your pride. Purchase an FSU license plate today.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm your host, Dennis Schnitker, and I'm in the beautiful new home of the Jim Moran School of Entrepreneurship and the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship here in downtown Tallahassee. About 3 miles west of here is the Mission San Luis Historical Site. It's where you'll often find Florida State University anthropology professor Tanya Perez and her students. All in all, it's not a bad classroom at all.
So it's been 10 years since the last excavation here, and it's a real honor and a privilege to be able to come back and work at this site. And it's, of course, really exciting. I mean, this is an amazing site to work at, so I feel very lucky that we're able to have our field school here. Why is Mission San Luis a big deal? Because it was the western capital of Spanish La Florida. And so as the western capital, it was the westernmost outpost of the Spanish Empire in this part of the New World. And it was also an important site because you had Spanish and Appalachian indigenous people living here together in a fairly large community. How's it going? So you have to dig out more. Okay. Reasons for being here is that it was a good place to farm, not only crops, but also domestic livestock, and that those animals and their products would be sent back to St. Augustine. We're actually in an area called the Spanish Village, hence the reconstructed Spanish house behind us. So we are just north of that house, and we have found basically the footprint of another Spanish house. This is the excavated floor plan of the Spanish house that they based reconstructions off of. So we have part of a smudge pit, we have more posts, and we have bits of chunked up burned clay floor that we think the Spanish dug through to put their posts in for their structure. So that's the type of evidence that we're looking for, which is really kind of neat. I mean, it's like a puzzle in reverse or something.
About 20 minutes ago, there was about 19 of these laid out. With these, we know all the shards came from this provenience. So we put them in here so we know that where it came from, we know when it was dug, we know what they are, we know what the area numbers assigned to them are. It's important to know where everything is. We dig everything within levels, we dig everything depending on where it is located.
We've been doing this since January, and in January we actually started with survey work, which is one of the most basic forms of archaeology, where you're out surveying a landscape looking for potential sites. So we did that for 3 or 4 weeks, and then we started excavating. They've learned how to, what we say, delineate a feature, find a feature and see how big it is and map it and then excavate it. They're learning how to window or water screen and process artifacts in the lab. And then because it's such a long field school, it's the whole spring semester, they get to practice all those skills over and over and over. Okay, so this area was discovered as something of interest before they widened Ocala Road. And what they found here was a clay quarry site where people were coming to dig out the clay. They mined all the clay, but then they came and dumped all their trash in it. So a trash dump is like the best thing to an archaeologist. It is just a data trove, right? So my 2 students, Emily and Hannah, are down here. They've been here the whole season trying to get through it. It's just, we have found all sorts of, interesting ceramics and animal materials, just all the things you would expect to find in somebody's trash. But this tells us a lot about the way people out here lived. It was actually a pretty good place to live for the time. Well, for the students, it's for them to come out of here and have not only learned all of the skills that you would need for an excavation from start to finish. This field school has been certified by the Register of Professional Archaeologists, which is an international organization, and they can put that on their resumes that they've taken a 16-week RPA certified field school. And anyone that sees that will know the very minimum of qualifications that this field school had, and it exceeded it, really, that the students have gained. So that's my goal for them, and to hopefully like it enough that they want to pursue it further. We have graduate students here, we have undergraduates here, and I know many of the undergraduates and I have talked about doing their own independent research projects on things that we found here, which is pretty awesome. And I think some of the grad students have found thesis projects based on the work that we've been doing here. So, I just want them to learn stuff. And to like doing it, and I think everyone likes doing it. This has been a really great group of students. So my goal is for them to, if they want to get a job doing this, go out and be hired right away and not need any extra training because they've done everything.
And Perez says she is planning a return trip to the site for more excavations in the year 2020. Back on Florida State's main campus, the College of Social Work puts on the Arts and Athletics Camp each summer to inspire students to consider pursuing higher education. And the lovely and talented FSU Headlines reporter Cara Irby joins us now to tell us more. Cara?
Thanks, Dennis. The Arts and Athletics Camp started 7 years ago under Dean Emeritus Nick Mazza. And this year, the camp, which typically lasts 1 week during the summer, expanded to 2 weeks, reaching twice as many students as before.
Grab the weight above your head, outside of the blue, above your head, straight up.
That's Chris Schoberg, director of the FSU Veteran Student Union, directing campers through an obstacle course on Landis Green during the second week of the Arts and Athletics Camp. FSU Assistant Professor Lisa Shelby is the faculty supervisor.
I'm a social worker first. Of course, I'm a professor, but really social work is what feeds my soul, and getting a chance to impact the youth is really important to me.
Under her leadership, the program has targeted foster youth from ages 11 to 14, helping them to improve their self-esteem, confidence, and overall desire to pursue a higher education.
We're really trying to make it so that when these campers finish the week, they are saying, I'm going to college.
One of those campers is Mike Townsend, a rising 9th grader who's attended the summer camp for the past 3 years.
I feel like I changed because I started meeting new people. Because when I first came here, I wasn't saying nice words to people. Then as they teach me to say nice things, I started encouraging people sometimes.
Townsend said he was excited to return for his final year as an arts and athletics camper. It's that excitement that continues to inspire FSU grad student and camp director Alex Givens.
For me personally, the goal would just be have 1 or 2 kids want to go to college at the end of it. We've had kids in the past who have had their aha moment here, and who knows what they're going to go do in the future. It may completely have changed their path.
Givens' participation in the camp, from planning creative workshops to field days on Landis Green, has also helped shape her own future.
I mean, the kids are amazing. I could never imagine this without having the rambunctious kiddos that we have. But I've also kind of figured out what I want to do. I want to plan camps and event management, all that kind of stuff through this camp.
Are you daring? Like, you like to take a dare. If somebody say, I dare you, you like, okay, no problem. This one is, you like to keep it simple. Like, don't make it complicated. Go write your name on the number 1.
And if it wasn't enough that the camp has expanded and helped chart the course of campers and FSU students alike, it also involves a research component. Shelby and her team of students conduct qualitative interviews with campers and counselors.
The camp counselors really are saying that they see a transformation in the short 5 days that they were with the campers. So our take-home message is that these short-term interventions may be incredibly promising for youth development.
Camp organizers are looking to inspire even more students, taking steps to bring their model outside of the FSU campus by working with local agencies that serve foster youth in the Tallahassee community and beyond. And you know what, Dennis? They're hoping to bring back some of those campers for a mini reunion and make sure they're on the right track.
Sounds like a great idea. Thank you, Cara, for that report. And coming up next on FSU Headlines, we head to the softball complex for a one-on-one sit-down with national championship coach Lonni Alameda.
We're the last team standing. And, so hopefully it stays with us for a long time. Cloud 9, it's pretty awesome.
The Cardiac Kids and Florida State's dream season when FSU Headlines continues in a moment. Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker, and I'm joined now by FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn. Mark, you had the chance to sit down with a brand new national championship coach here at Florida State.
That's right, Dennis. It's only been a few weeks since the Women's College World Series, and Coach Lonni Alameda, she was still on cloud 9, as they say, just a few weeks out from that. And we got the chance to talk one-on-one with Coach and take a quick trip down memory lane on a season unlike any other for the Florida State softball program. All right, Coach, I think we'll just start off by asking you, I mean, obviously this has been a whirlwind, I'm sure, for the last few weeks. Has it sunk in yet? Have you had a chance to really maybe think about it, reminisce that you are a national champion?
Yeah, no, say it again.
National champion.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I don't know if it sinks in. I think there's moments where you'll see something on Twitter or Instagram and you go back to that play and you get excited about it, or as coaches, can you believe we're the last team standing? And so hopefully it stays with us for a long time. Cloud 9, it's pretty awesome.
Talk to me a little bit about what the last few weeks have been like since, going out there to Oklahoma City to the Women's College World Series and then coming home to Tallahassee and that reception that you had. What has it been like, really just taking all that in?
The water cannon's so excited about it, and then to turn the corner and most of Tallahassee be there to celebrate us getting off the plane just made it so real. And surreal in the same sense, like how many people were out there supporting and loving it and lived it. They lived it with us. I think the community truly loved playing softball through the TV with us, and that was a neat feeling, to be embraced that way. Another area, the amount of emails and letters we've received from Florida State alum, just random sports fans, people that start off saying, "I've never watched softball before," and literally fell in love with your guys' team and how much passion they had. And so just the connection to how amazing sport is, that part has been so neat to be a part of. And so there's a lot of areas that, it'll continue to sink in, but when you reflect back on it, it's just been a tremendous experience.
She just lays down a sack. And the diving catch by Warren for the double play! Jesse
I don't know if it's been deemed the play, the catch.
I know, right? Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
It will live in Seminole lore forever. How big was that play? As a coach, you're sitting there and that play happens, and Jessie, she laid it out there, right?
She did.
Talk to me about that and what was going through your mind and how big was that for your team?
I'm going to tell you this, and anyone that's been around this program a ton, Jessie does that all the time. That was Jessie being Jessie. It was not abnormal. I think that, yes, huge moment to put the hammer in, the momentum, if you say they were gaining a little bit, just a big time play. For us, we're getting the ACC network next year at ESPN, so we're going to have a few more cameras out here to see angles. For a while now, we've had one camera angle, and we've wanted to promote Jessie and her athleticism and her sixth sense. She has an innate sense for the game, but the one angle doesn't do it. So cool that 36 cameras, ESPN, biggest stage, everyone's watching, and people get to see her play and make those plays. She's tremendous. She loves the game. It was big for us.
You win the ACC, you win regionals, you win super regionals, and the national championship. Did it live up to the maybe the preseason and the dream that you could do all of these things? Does the end result live up to the dream you had beforehand?
Yeah, I don't know really what I was expecting of it. I think honestly the way we played the game surpassed the vision of it, because we played at the right time. Everyone was clicking at the right time. There was no fluke play. There was no fluke umpire call. It was handling, sitting pitches, handling pitches, knocking out All-American pitcher after All-American pitcher. Does that happen? Just the way it was done, the kids having so much fun. I don't think anyone could have been like, oh, seriously, Florida State right now? Like, whoa, seriously, Florida State? How cool is that? Other players, other programs tweeting about it. There was just a passion and energy to celebrate softball at the highest level. So you're sitting back as a coach and a coaching staff, and there were so many moments Travis, Craig, and I would make eye contact and just like, that was so cool. Did you see that? That was so awesome. So we were literally celebrating in the moment too of what these kids were doing. And we have a tremendous game, and people love the speed of the game. And so to be able to be there and showcase it like that, dream come true for me for sure. I think we do it right. We won the Director Cup, in community service this year. We won that. We've always been top there. We've got great academics. Like when you think about being a student athlete, Team 35 left being a student athlete. They did so many things right on and off the field, and in end had fun doing it. And I feel so for the people that have to grind it out and feel like they have to do it. The kids, they were on a playground, they were having fun, and we got to see it. So was that my vision? I'm not really sure, but I truly loved it, and it exceeded everything expectation-wise for sure.
What will you remember most about these young ladies, this team, your coaching staff, everyone involved with your program from this season moving forward, throughout the years? What will you remember most about this year?
The simple part of fun. And it's, we all talk about it. It's a game, play the game. It's a game, relax, have fun, play the game. Do we live it? Do you live having fun? And there's that balance, right? So it's not just go out and have fun and cheer and have fun. There was business to it. And you could see, like, when push came to, you could see it in Megan's face, you can see it in Jesse's face, and even Mason, when she hit the home run and was willing the ball to go out, like, there was passion in it, and then there was fun and elation. So that balance of truly love what you do, have fun with it, high five it, embrace it, work, 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 have fun, that balance. But to me, if you can't enjoy what you're doing daily, work, life, family, whatever it is, you need to reevaluate it and don't take things so serious and work hard and have fun.
Well, Coach, congratulations on an amazing season, a national championship at the Women's College World Series. We're very proud of you here at Florida State. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's so cool. This is all of ours right here, huh? Yes, thank you.
Good time. Thank you very much. Well, moving on from one diamond over a few yards to the other to talk some baseball, and next season will be the final season for legendary coach Mike Martin, the all-time winningest coach in NCAA history, deciding this offseason to take away the mystery and let the university and, of course, the fans know his 40th year will be his last year as the head man at FSU. He will retire as the season ends. This past year, Martin became the all-time winningest coach in college baseball history when he claimed win number 1976. Next year, Coach Martin will pick up win number 2000 at some point, as he needs just 13 victories to reach that milestone. He'll get one more run at the College World Series coming up in year number 40 at the helm. After the season, Florida State will conduct a national search for the 9th coach in program history.
All right, Mark, thank you for that report. That's going to do it for this edition of FSU Headlines, but you can keep up with Florida State anytime on the university's official news website, news.fsu.edu. For Mark and for everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Dennis Schnitker. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.